brings us to most interesting discussion an astrology can have in the domain of the political affairs of United States. And the same question that was raised yesterday by Kenny. The question that was raised by Kiniji yesterday about who would be the next president of United States. So this brings me to come up with the data as much as I could about the two most popular candidates that we have, the finalists of the race of the president in the United States. And of course the data is not the total data that one could have, because this analysis requires a lot of information, and I think I have 10-20% of what the total information that is required to come to a conclusion. But at least we can have a direction, and we can have a direction of thought that we can at least be somewhere we can have a clarity that who could be the next president of the United States. So, and of course, I am not taking any responsibility for the prediction.
Disclaimer. This will be in the newspaper headline tomorrow.
But yes, the one thing is that one thing I've seen and observed that when such predictions they are made by the astrologers, there has to be an approach. There has to be an explanation that why there is a statement that this particular person would win and why this particular person would lose. So there has to be a particular reason about. There has to be principles defining and asserting the statement, asserting the conclusion that we are coming up to. So we can see the two charts, the horoscopes, right on the board. So I'll first name the two horoscopes.
And Donald Trump, America.
So I read it on the internet that this is the first time that one of the finalists is a woman. I'm not sure that
Yes,
is
true.
fact or not.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's also the first time that the people would be electing out of the two. They would be electing for the one they hate the least.
True.
That's true.
Yeah, and to avoid the person they hate the most to come up to the office.
Right.
So this is an interesting election. So first, let me, because yesterday I discussed about the formations and arrangements of the planets, how they form the particular, the combination of growth and success for a particular person. So for those who have missed, I can explain these concepts to you later, but I'll just begin from where I left yesterday. First, defining the horoscope of Hillary Clinton. First thing that we have to look about in a horoscope is that the position of the first lord, that is the Lagna lord or the ascendant lord, which is the most important planet in the entire horoscope. So this particular planet is changing and getting posited in the 5th house, which is the house of fame, which is the house of growth and success. It's also the house of education, and it's also the house of your past life karma, which if I told you that if there's an exchange between or a link or a connection between these quadrants and the trines, there is a Raj Yoga which is being formed. So of course there is a Raj Yoga being formed in this particular case with Sun and Venus. Venus being the lord of the 5th house and the lord of the 1st house coming to the 5th house, the two lords coming together, there is a Raj Yoga being formed. But an important fact about this horoscope, be able to stick to the ground, to stick to the problems of the day-to-day life or the undercurrents of the country. She might be a very sophisticated person, but she has no energy to understand the dynamics of the public. Because her Mars is also as weak as her Sun. That means two most fiery planets the one has in the horoscope, the Sun and the Mars, they both signify the fire and the energy of drive that puts you out to the world and puts you to the work. So she has the weak Mars as well, which is although it's called as Uchchavastha and Neechavastha of planet. So Mars in Cancer gets Neech. Sun in Taurus also gets Neech. So two planets are Neech. But there is a Neech Bhang Rajyog, means when the planet of exaltation sign sits together with the planet which is being debilitated, there is a Neech Bhang Rajyog. Like in this case, Saturn, Mars gets exalted in Capricorn and gets debilitated, gets Neech in then Cancer, but Saturn, being the lord of the exaltation sign, sitting with the Mars, is causing Neech Bhang Rajyog. Also, Sun, which is getting debilitated in this house with Venus, because Sun gets debilitated or Sun gets Neech in Taurus, also is sitting with Venus, which is the lord of the debilitation sign, is also making Neech Bhang Rajyog. Means Neech Bhang Rajyog means that even after facing the worst of the circumstances, the person somehow manages to get out of it. Somehow manages to escape
That makes sense.
and makes the
Emails.
let the dignity prevail. Yeah. So two Neech Bhang Raj Yogas being formed. That means the person, no matter how how miserable actions the person does and how mischievous actions the person does, somehow he is able to manage. Somehow he's able to maintain that level of dignity the person has been either got inherited or gotten by any means. So this is the case of Hillary Clinton. But now we're coming up to the Donald Trump. So this horoscope, we can see that ascendant is Leo. Also, I forgot to tell about the nature of the ascendant, because Gemini is a human sign. It's a sign which is symbolized by a man and a woman together. Means ambiguity in thoughts, dilemmatic thoughts, lack of vision, because it represents ambiguity, it represents confusion. On the other side, we have this ascendant which is Leo. Leo is symbolized by a lion, means always ferocious and always ready to go out and win the war, and always go out and prey on the other people to attack other people. Be ready to attack.
That's very true.
So ascendant is Leo, and you can see, as I was telling about the nature of Mars, it's a fiery and aggressive planet, sitting in that first house of ascendant, means the energy is even multiplied. Being over the top aggressive, being overtly aggressive, being overtly daring, or being overtly bold and smart. That's the nature of ascendant this person has, Donald Trump. Of course, the Raj Yoga is also being formed in this case. I told you if there is a link between the trines and the quadrants. The ninth house, the Lord of Aries, is Mars, posited in the first house, which is the Leo, means there is a link formed between this house and this house, forming a Raj Yoga. Although there are two Raj Yogas being formed in the horoscope of Hillary Clinton, there's one in comparison to Hillary Clinton with Donald Trump. But this Raj Yoga is a very potent Raj Yoga as compared to what Hillary Clinton has. And another important part of this, I was telling about the degrees, the closeness of degrees. So in this case, the ascendant is 2 degrees 31 minutes and Mars is 0 degrees, somewhere 47 minutes. Again, coming in the margin of 2 degrees, means Mars also being the Rajyog Karak, forming the Rajyog, coming in a very close association of 2 degrees, being the most significant planet for this person, governing the entire direction of his life, governing his overall attitude, governing his overall mindset, governing his overall behavior. So this is the case with him. And the Sun placed in 10th house. 10th house, I told you the 10th house is the house of career, the professions, and your karmas, your pursuits of life. Sun represents government services, political services. Posted in 10th house means this person is definitely has to be somewhere linked to a government position in his life. Some point of his life, he has to be in a government position, which he has been rejecting. If I'm not wrong, he has been
Businessman.
like he has been trying for the senators and been, I don't know what all positions he has been trying for in 2012, 2004. If it is sitting with the Sun, means it's multiplying the energy of the Sun. Sun represents the ego, your self-confidence, your arrogance in life. So, being together with Rahu and Sun together, Rahu is multiplying the energy of Sun, means the arrogance and overall self-confidence of this person is too high. It's way beyond high, means it's unimaginable. So he never, he never gives a second thought on what he speaks and what he does. He always have the direction, even if it is a wrong choice, if the choice is bad, if the choice is leading him towards failure, but he knows that he has to do this. So that's the characteristic of this person. Now, just these two are just the comparison between the two people. We cannot judge who would be the president unless we have the horoscope of the United States of America. So we have to analyze the horoscope of United States of America in order to be able to know which candidate amongst these two suits the best for the president elections. So I'll just replace this horoscope with the horoscope of US so that I'm comparing the Trump with US horoscope.
कंट्री का भी हॉरोस्कोप होता है
Mediocre, not very good.
India
Not very good.
those.
Not very good horoscope.
ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਫਰੈਸ਼ਨਰ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ horoscope.
And also, I forgot to mention that he also has this Kalsarpayog in his horoscope, which is a very, very important yoga for the people who are coming up to the high order positions in their life. Like Hitler had it, same kind of a Kalsarpayog he is having. And another important fact, like I was discussing yesterday, Narendra Modi came to the power in the period of Shani's Sade Sati. He's undergoing the most severest Sade Sati of his life. So the two combinations, Kalsarpayog and both Sade Sati, are forming in the horoscope of Donald Trump. So this is the horoscope of United States of America. And,
ये फिर आपने यूएसए के इंडिपेंडेंस से
हाँ।
मतलब कि लिया
4th
है?
of July 1776,
अच्छा।
Philadelphia at 10:21 a.m.
Very good.
Excellent.
उनका डेट ऑफ बर्थ कहाँ से लिया?
वही तो कह रहे हैं, वही तो कह रहे हैं।
और टाइमिंग
Enter
नहीं
में-
होगा इसका।
He just take whatever information he has.
गूगल
20%.
बाबा सब
10:21.
He doesn't have.
Google के पास है।
डेट ऑफ बर्थ
Google बाबा के सब कुछ है.
But he knows.
I hope their horoscope is correct with these two candidates, because I've checked from many sources on the internet and they are the same. So I think so that they're correct.
कोई no guarantees. आप जो बनाए हो, उनकी ठीक नहीं है, सब लोग उल्टा है.
This is the horoscope of United States, and the planets in the in the orange color, they are the planets which are transiting at this point of time. They are not the planets which have been there when the US got independence, but this is the current position of the planets. So, first thing, when we have to understand the person who would or who should be the president, then we have to understand what's the actual need of the country, what the country really wants at this point of time. That should be the approach. So for that we have to study the horoscope of the country. So this also is the Leo ascendant, just this way Donald Trump has. And the nature of the country has been the same in the past. So this country obviously is aggressive towards the other people and is having a high self-esteem with other countries of the world. There is a unique combination of 4 planets in the 11th house. 11th house is the house of income. Means there's a strong and a very potent combination for Dhan Yoga, which I don't think any other country in the world has, these 4 planets in 11th house. Means there is a constant source of wealth for this country coming up. Also, there is Ketu in the 6th house, means I told you 6th house is the house of loans, debts, and all these things. So the country will always be in the debt, but will always keep on having the income ready for the population. Okay, so the dasha which is being going on for the country is Mars. I'll just take the questions after this. Mars is the main dasha and the sub dasha is of Venus. Mars is a Rajyokarak planet for this, means it's the lord of 9th and the 4th house, means the lord of both trines and the quadrant, 1 quadrant and 1 trine. Mars is the lord of these 2 houses, means it's the planet which is causing the Raj Yoga, which is supposed to cause the Raj Yoga. But it's causing Dhan Yoga, but it is supposed to cause the Raj Yoga in this particular horoscope. So the dasha of Raj Yoga Karak, whenever it comes in one's life, is always a beneficial dasha. Always gives you benefits. And the sub dasha of Venus, which is the lord of 3rd house and the lord of 10th house. 10th house is the house of, in the country's horoscope, is the house of legislative, judiciary, and the affairs of the president's house. And the 3rd house is the house of communication, relationship with the neighboring countries, and the Ministry of Communications. In India, it's their separate ministries. I don't know what it is. Ministry of Broadcasting and Information. And it's also the house of publishing, journals, and editorials, authors, house of researchers, universities, all these things. But that is immaterial of what we're discussing. So the dasha is favorable for the country, but what the country actually needs, what this country needs, is taken by the transits of the planet. First important thing is Moon, which is the 12th lord. 12th lord is the lord which represents your policies towards the other countries of the world, their foreign policies of the country. Lord of the foreign policies, Moon, being afflicted by Ketu, and it's just a moment. Being afflicted by Ketu in the axis of Rahu. Rahu is a planet which represents your enemies, means enemies which are somewhere conspiring against you or spying against a country. It is the planet of espionage, spying, conspiracies. So Moon is afflicted with Rahu and Ketu axis. Mars is being exalted. I told you Mars gets exalted in Capricorn. Lord of 9th house being exalted in the 6th house means 9th house is the house of religion and spirituality, and in the terms of a country, this is the house of fanatism or radicalism, excessive racism. When it gets exalted in the 6th house, house of conflicts, disputes, debts, loans, or a warlike situation, means, or Mars is also the planet which represents your ego, your desire to go out and rule the rest of the people. So in countries, horoscope, it is also the desire to rule the rest of the world. So this desire is coming again to this country. The country is becoming more fanatic. The country is becoming more radical. That's what the country actually needs. That's what they need, someone to regain, to revive the American spirit all over again. This is the spirit of the country. This is the overall direction of the country is moving towards. Yeah, and also the Venus, being the lord of 10th house and the lord of 3rd house, the house of communications, is in the 5th house, means it's forming a Raj Yoga in the transit. 10th house coming in the 5th house. Somewhere this country needs to extend the communications with other rest of the countries. And also, I told you the 6th house is having the excessive energy of Mars, means countries also suffering from lots of loans, debts, and the debt or the imbalance of money. This country, I think there should be an import-export deficit the country is having. So this also is the need of an hour for this country. So there's a very important part, because Mars just got exalted today itself, and we have the elections right, not even 1 month or left for the elections, 3 weeks. So this is the important part, that Mars is exalted over here. Also, Sun is being debilitated along with Mercury. Sun is the Lagna lord, most important lord in a horoscope, is getting debilitated in the 3rd house. That means the country is also losing the confidence in itself. People are losing confidence in themselves.
Yes.
Because the Lagna lord is getting debilitated in the 3rd house. Means the house of communications. The people are closing the doors of the interaction, or they're closing, they are losing trust in the country's governance. So this is the exact position of the country right now. Now, in such a situation, they need someone who can revive their spirits all over again, who can revive their confidence all over again. So, out of the two, I can see that this is the person, Donald Trump, who is coming up with the same spirit, because he is also having a strong Mars. He is having a well-placed Sun with an excessive energy of Sun, with an excessive self-confidence in himself, and also his agenda is also directed towards bringing back that American spirit, radicalism, because the country needs it right now. So, and if we're matching the horoscopes, they are exactly in the terms of the ascendant, they're exactly matching with each other. So, according to me, I am not giving any conclusion, but yeah, but I am I'm going through. Almost I'm 75% sure about this, because I'm sure that whatever information, if I'll acquire it again from the internet, if I'll work on it even more, they will add up to the to the victory of this Donald Trump.
Go Donald.
So this would be the person who would.
ये रिकॉर्ड
Let's see what happens.
बट वो मेरे पास ही रहेगी.
अगर ये सही हो गया ना, आप तो यूएसए में सुपर डुपर हिट हो जाएंगे. सुपर डुपर हिट.
So according to me, Donald Trump is the person who is required for the country's development, the country's progress, and he is needed.
I think he's going to come. मेरा
He
vote
should
हो
be,
गया.
yeah.
हमारा
The winner for Donald Trump, yeah.
Yeah, and now we can have the questions.
You had a question back here somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask about the next financial crisis. Is there anything coming up?
The crisis is already there. I told you,
Imbalance.
imbalance is already
Balance is
there.
there for last 20
We
years.
had in 2008.
2008 means the
Recession.
recession, the depression. Okay. The dasha. No, I don't think so, because after this, after Venus, the dasha would change to Sun, Mars and Sun. This dasha will never let the country go down. At least in 2018, it will never happen. It can happen somewhere, in 2019. I'm not sure about 19, but at least till 2018, this is not going to happen. Because whenever you have the Mahadasha of Rajyog Karaka and the Sabdasha of the Lagna Lord, these two combinations, or the Mahadasha of Lagna Lord and the Sabdasha of Rajyog Karaka planet,
So nothing major like that.
no, in
It's happening
2018, no.
soon.
These combination, if even a person is having such a combination at any point of his life, he excels. He totally excels in life. Wherever he is, whatever he's doing, he starts getting opportunities like this, and he just excels. So this is not the time. 2018 is definitely not the year for any kind of loss for this country. It could be even after that, but it's not in 2018.
Question, anybody?
Can we go to Vegas and bet on Trump winning?
Definitely.
Vegas.
Gambling.
I'm sure there's some odds against him. A little bit right
Definitely.
now.
Yeah.
I want him to win.
पर
Don't
आज
get me
कुछ
wrong.
Yeah, we
विकीलीक्स
want
ने
him to,
थोड़ा
yeah.
बहुत हंगामा किया है.
Huh?
आज विकीलीक्स ने कुछ
वैसे
किया.
WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks leaked something against Hillary today.
They've been doing every
Hopefully they
day.
drop a bomb or two next week. Fantastic.
I'm supporting
She goes away.
Guys, this is
Did you-
recording.
Yes, we are
Saturn
Republican.
होता है इसमें 19 years तक भी चलता है long.
$500.
Yes,
Saturn.
very good.
I gave him
Single साल सत्ती है, कुछ अब 19 years तक
नहीं,
चलता है.
90 years की Saturn की महादशा होगी.
Cyclical changes which occur in the human society,
Mhm.
the countries and all these things, so much is kind of a predestined
Mhm.
that, and of course these charts, etc., and horoscopes indicate are the signpost or indicators of what is coming or what is going, etc.
Yeah.
So it's really amazing. So the person, kind of what we say nimitta matra, means the flow is already set.
Yeah.
So he happens to be the person
Mhm.
with all those qualities,
Right.
aggressive, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So this is whatever you want to say, a divine plan or whatever it is.
Destiny.
But the whole thing is just moving that way, and all other like a Kataputli,
Mhm.
they are just the nimitta matra playing that role, like Modi for India.
You know
Trump.
exactly why. I don't think that there was any name for Donald
Right,
Trump
exactly.
3 years ago.
No.
Nobody knew.
Nobody
Nobody.
knew that he would be the one.
He had a chance.
But he had a chance, and he was going under the dasha. He was going into the Rajyog.
Right.
So suddenly he emerged out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And
So yeah,
he beat 15 candidates
15
who are
hands.
all qualified more than him.
Much more
Politically,
qualified than
they
him.
are all qualified. His party members, he beat them all.
It's all because of the destiny and the energy of the planets that they're playing for us.
Absolutely.
So and also the country needs such a person, and he came out of the
Right.
closet, and now he's
Similar
ready to fill
case
the
with
place.
India, with Narendra Modi.
Yeah.
I mean, with all these things going on, now he is a figurehead
Same
just
thing, yeah,
came up.
exactly
All
the
the
same.
odds were
Yeah.
against him.
And I told you that he was also running under the Mahadasha, the Sade Sati of Saturn. The same thing is going under him. You can see Saturn is in the 8th in the transit. If you apply it in his horoscope, Saturn is right here, and exactly in the same degree as the moon.
So just a side question, if I may.
That's fine.
Now, having said that, and the power of astrology to go into the depth of it, and to the extent that it can, based on information. So then probably it might be possible to know, like US-India relations and all the world stage, how the things are going to go, because his statements were like he's going to take care of the Middle East countries and all these things. So it would be really interesting as to what is the outcome of all that thing, right?
Exactly. I'd give you an example. Why US and India are always, linked with, at least in India, people are always talking about US. They never talk about UK. They never talk about Middle East. They never talk about Pakistan. And they talk more about US than they're talking about Pakistan in terms of development. There is a very practical and astronomical theory behind this. We have the difference of 12 and a half hours from here to with India and US. When we are matching the horoscopes of two people for marriage, husband and wife, the best match in that particular case is when this house, the Lagna house and the Lagna Lord, is placed in the 7th, and the 7th Lord is placed in the Lagna. Means there is a 1-7 exchange. Like in Raj Yoga, we have the exchange of 1-5-9. In that, we have 1-7 exchange. It's considered the best match. We always have the 1-7 exchange between India and US. Whatever sign is rising here, this exactly opposite sign rises in India at that particular time. That means they're astronomically, they're vertically opposite to each other. They are 180 degrees opposite to each other. That makes them attracted to each other in all the cases. I was telling about filling in the place. US has the Dhani Yoga in the horoscope. The same way, India has a Sannyas Yoga in the horoscope of India. So when you have excessive energy at one point, at one part of the horoscope, then there is a deficit at the other place. So that means this country has been going under the deficit of the spiritual education, the wisdom, the knowledge, which India is having excessively. And India is going into the deficit of the money, the finance, so which this country is excessively having. So it's like a lock and key, they are fitting to each other. So this is the reason why they are always, linked to each other in one way or the other.
Very nice.
Very good.
What would be the relationship of USA with Russia?
I have the horoscope of Russia, but I'll have to study and put it up again. I'll do it some other time.
Because that's one of the concern of Donald Trump is that he might sell the country to Russia.
Anybody else got a question?
I know, that's the concept. That's one thing.
What is the evaluation of Donald Trump by looking at his sign? What kind of president will he make, and will he stay his 4 or 8 year term?
4-year term. Okay.
4 or 8 year, whichever.
He said
Yeah.
2 years.
As long as the Mars Dasha is there, and it's there for about 2021 at least. So that makes 4-year term for Donald Trump. So he will be there.
No impeachment.
No impeachment. No impeachment.
Nobody shooting him down.
If it wins, he will be very strong.
Yeah. And he will regain the power. He will be, whatever odds come to his way, it will turn into his, credits.
Assets.
So that would.
Any other questions, guys?
One over there.
एक मिनट
This
जैसे
question.
एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन है
No
जैसे हम उपाय करते हैं अपने नक्षत्रों को ठीक, तो we can do it for the countries too.
People they do it in
Yes,
India.
they
India
do.
में
इंडिया में डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प के लिए यज्ञ हुआ है।
हाँ, वहाँ पे Donald
इंडिया में
Trump
लोग
के लिए
करते हैं।
हुआ है।
हाँ करते हैं।
But
यहाँ नहीं, यहाँ
इसके लिए तो फिर डेमोक्रेसी में पॉसिबल नहीं है।
Anybody else have question over there?
Just like
You got any other questions?
looks like the economy will be growing, right?
Yeah, but the people are losing confidence. But yeah, economy is as of now, economy is suffering. But when he comes, he will add energy to the US horoscope. So that will turn the situation to
He will
positive.
fix everything.
Huh?
He will fix everything.
I don't think so. He'll fix everything.
I
but
know maybe yeah.
He will try to.
I like him,
He will add energy definitely.
How about Hillary? What if she becomes the president? How much
she's
damage she
I
can
don't
do
like
for
Yeah,
the
she will
country?
never be able to, the whatever confidence is left in the country, it will again sink. It will sink to the.
Yeah.
It totally gets lost. She is not the person. She's not the person
Right, can you-
that is required at the moment.
At this time.
She's a
Maybe next 4 years
Because the
later.
countries also, countries also having a kind of a desire. It's also having some expectations.
Exactly.
So their expectations are being fulfilled by
You're right.
Donald Trump
That
How
is true.
about the stability from terrorism
against US.
USA.
next few years?
Yeah, it could be. There are countries who are conspiring in either they're trying to create financial troubles, because at this, this situation we are living in the age when you can't really attack on a country, but you can, somewhere create-
Cyber attack.
Yeah, cyber attacks, yeah, those kind of things.
China.
We
Muslim
just had a
country.
cyber attack. I think
Russia.
Yahoo accounts were being hacked.
Yeah, that's true.
recently.
months ago. I
Yeah.
just heard it.
Target, Yahoo, many of them.
Yeah, Chase.
These kinds of situations will come up, and they are coming up because the situations because of Rahu and Ketu.
Yeah, so the stage is set for the lot of dynamic things to happen.
Yeah,
The stage is set to.
the stage is set to
Yeah.
have lots of
Lots of
changes,
dynamic
lots of
that is
events, unpredictable incidences.